Do you really have to be good at art in order to be a successful artist? Let's discuss. In my opinion, no, you don't have to be good at art in order to be a successful artist, because what is good? Good is a very subjective term. So one person who likes anime and manga might completely hate Pablo Picasso or Andy Warhol. They might think that Jackson Pollock just flings paint everywhere. You know, you might look at Mark Rothko painting a bunch of rectangles and squares, and you might think, that's not art, he's not a good artist. But guess what? One of his paintings sold for like $43 million. So some people think something is good, other people think it's crap. There's really no control that you as the artist have over that. And there's nothing that you can do within your lifetime to get so good that you can make all of these people think that you're good and that you're the best. It's just not possible. The problem is that we feel that way on our own because we all want to be good and we want to be as good as we possibly can be. But then there's people out there who comment on our work, or art critics, whatever you want to call them, who are constantly putting artists down and saying that they're not good and that they're terrible artists. And why do you have so many subscribers? You're not a very good artist. I don't want to be like this guy. I don't want to take advice from this guy. He's not a good artist. Well, the problem with that is that there's a lot of people who disagree with that. There's a lot of people who think I'm a great artist. There's a lot of people who think I'm a good artist. There's a few people out there who think that I'm the best artist in the world. But it doesn't matter. I don't care whether I'm good or not. I want to be as good as I can possibly be, but I don't feel like I have to master every single aspect of art and be able to paint as well as Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci. And other people would see that as a flaw and say, well, if you want to have a YouTube channel and you want to teach people how to make art, you need to know absolutely everything there is to know about art. And that's not true. I have a YouTube channel where I can teach people about what I know. And if there's things outside of what I know that I can't teach people, that's fine, because not everybody is like that person out there who expects everybody to be Michelangelo. There's a lot of people like me who just want to be as good as me, and maybe I'm not the best artist in the world, but maybe it's fine to be the 227th best artist in the world, or the 2000th best artist in the world. It doesn't matter. We all have our own goals, and you shouldn't let other people who probably aren't even artists impose their goals onto you and say, well, you need to feel like you need to be good and you need to be the best. You don't need to be the best. You just need to do your best. People have called me mediocre. People have said that I don't know how to draw. I've heard all of it, but I don't let it stop me from making art. And because of this, I'm able to be successful. I'm able to have success on my own terms. And it doesn't matter if that success matches up with what other people define as success. I'm able to make art and I'm able to make a living making art, and that makes me happy. So for me, that's success. I don't need to be hired by Disney. I don't need to be validated in some other way by some other person or whatever. I validate my own art. I have my own reasons for creating it. I have my own purpose. And so that's what I follow. And that's what I recommend that you do too. You don't worry about being good. You don't worry about what people think of you. You just make art and you just enjoy it because that's what you want to do. And if in doing that, people tell you you're good, and if you start to feel like you're good, there's nothing wrong with that. But just know that that's not the ultimate goal of being an artist. Now, the other thing I want to mention here is that good art tends to get kind of equated with realistic art, and that's not necessarily true. Good art has nothing to do with realism or skill. There's a lot of good art out there that people really enjoy that is not realistic. There's cartoons, there's abstract art. There's lots of things that are not based on realism. Anime and manga, cartoons, all of these things are exaggerated. They're not correct human proportions. These drawings don't look anything like a realistic human. In fact, their whole goal is to look less like a human and more like something that came out of somebody's imagination. That's the whole point of cartoons and stylistic drawings. And so those people are considered good within their own communities. Those people are considered talented. Those people are successful. They make money. They have all of the things that people use to define success. But if you took any one of those people out of their element, if you took somebody who's a really good anime artist and move them over to classical painting, portraits or something like that, they might do a terrible job of drawing a portrait. Their portraits probably have really pointy chins and giant eyes, and they would get an F in that class, and people would never buy their paintings if they were hung in a gallery with classical portrait art. But just as well, if you take Leonardo da Vinci and you bring him into the future and you sit him down in front of some paper and you ask him to draw a manga cartoon, he's going to know nothing about Japanese culture. He's going to know nothing about manga. And even if he can copy the style and draw the face, he doesn't have the expertise of that industry to be considered good. So even though he's a very accomplished artist, he knows nothing about that style he gets an F too. He's considered a bad artist. And so as you can see, it can happen to anyone. Anyone can be considered good and bad at the same time. It just depends on how they're being looked at. So if that's the case, there's no point in getting hung up on things like that. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on whether you really have to be good at art to be successful as an artist. If you enjoyed this video, take a quick second to click that like button. And if you're new to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. I have a lot more videos for digital artists like you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.